students, welcome back to this video. Here is an inspiration card for you children. Do what is right, not what is easy. We must all face the choice between what is right and what is easy. If we want to have a comfortable zone in our life, we always should choose what is right. Okay children, the topics to be covered in this session are, we have to study about pollination, the different types of pollination like autogamy, geitonogamy and synogamy. Then second one is about the agents of pollination. There are two types of agents, abiotic agents and biotic agents. Wind, water, etc. coming under abiotic agents, while different types of animals coming under the biotic agent. And the last topic is, what do you mean by pollen pistil interaction? So let us study what is pollination.
Previous sections you have learned that the male and female gametes in flowering plants are produced in the pollen grain and embryo sac respectively. So here both types of gametes are non-motile, so that they have to be brought together for fertilization to occur. So how this achieved? Yes, this is achieved through pollination. Do you know what is pollination? Yes, it is the transfer of pollen grains from the anther to the stigma of a pistil. Transfer of pollen grains from. So here this is the anther and this particular part is the stigma. This is the anther and this is the stigma. So the transfer of pollen grains from the anther to the stigma of a pistil is known as pollination. Transfer of pollen grains from the anther to the stigma of a pistil. Then, flowering plants have evolved an amazing adaptations to achieve pollination. Do you know what are the adaptations? Mainly, they make use of external agents to achieve pollination. So, what are the external agents? Yes, based on the source of pollen, pollination is three types. The agents, they are autogamy, geitonogamy, and synogamy. Which are they? They are autogamy. It is known as self-pollination. Geitonogamy. Then synogamy. It is known as cross-pollination. Then we can see one by one what does autogamy means, what does geitonogamy mean, and synogamy also. Autogamy, it is otherwise known as self-pollination. So what do you mean by self-pollination? Yes, pollination. If pollination takes place in the same flower, that is known as self-pollination. So we can say that transfer of pollen grains from anther to the stigma of the same flower. So in flowers with exposed anther and stigma, complete autogamy is rare in such case. So in such flowers, it requires a synchrony in pollen release and stigma receptivity. And then one more point is there, the position of the anther and stigma should be very close to each other. Then there are some plants we can see, some exceptions among the flowers where the autogamy occurs. Actually, there are two types of flowers are produced by some of the plants in which the autogamy occurs. Plants like viola and another one is oxalis and the third one is commelina. These three plants produces two kinds of flowers. They produces two types of flowers. Which are they? They are chasmogamous flower and clistogamous flower. In these flowers, autogamy occurs or self-pollination occurs. But the plants Viola, Oxalis and Commelina, they produces two types of flowers. What are the peculiarities of these flowers that we can see? Chasmogamous flower means this flower shows similarity with the other species, with the flower of other species, with the exposed anther and stigma. Chasmogamous flowers shows some similarities with the flowers of other species and they possess exposed anther and stigma. Then what about clistogamous flower? Clistogamous flower means they do not open at all. Clistogamous flowers, you can see this is clistogamous flower. They do not open at all. So what is easy for them? Self-pollination is easy because anther and stigma lie close to each other. They are autogamous. When anthers dehisce in the flower buds, pollen grains come in contact with the stigma for pollination. Then here you can see cleistogamy leads to inbreeding depression. Then what do you mean by inbreeding depression? Continued inbreeding brings inbreeding depression. Actually, this is the loss of fertility and productivity as a result of inbreeding is called inbreeding depression. Then, what do you mean by autogamy? Sorry, what do you mean by geitonogamy? See, from this diagram, it is very clearly understood the transfer of pollen grains from anther to the stigma of another flower of the same plant. So, this is functionally cross-pollination involving a pollinating agent, but it is genetically similar to autogamy because it is taking place in the same plant. See children, you can see that important 2 points. It is the transfer of pollen grains from anther to the stigma of another flower of the same plant. Yes, it is functionally cross-pollination involving a pollinating agent, but it is genetically similar to autogamy since the pollen grains come from the same plant. Then what do you mean by cross-pollination? Yes. From this diagram or from this picture, you are able to say the answer. What do you mean by cross-pollination or xenogamy? The xenogamy is otherwise known as cross-pollination. Yes. Tell me, what is this? Transfer of pollen grains from anther to the stigma of another flower or different plant. It is the transfer of pollen grains from anther to the stigma of different plant that is known as cross pollination. Yes, it brings genetically different pollen grains to the stigma. Then next, we are going to study about the agents of pollination. What are the agents? Yes, pollination taking place through, sometimes pollination taking place through wind, water, etc. Sometimes the pollination taking place through animals such as insects, birds, bats, human beings, etc. So, the agents of pollination are broadly classified into two. Agents of pollination are broadly classified into two. They are abiotic agents and biotic agents. Pollination taking place through wind and water. They are coming under abiotic agents. Yes, pollination taking place through living organism, that is known as biotic agents. So we can study in detail what are the adaptations of the plants based on these agents of pollination. See, abiotic agents. Yes, do you know what is it called? Pollination taking place through wind. Yes, pollination taking place through wind is known as anemophily. The term is anemophily. Don't be confused. Anemophily. The spelling is Anemophily. Anemophily means pollination taking place through wind. Yes, what all adaptations they possess? Wind pollinated plants or flowers. Yes, they possess a single ovule in each ovary and numerous flowers packed into an inflorescence. Example is corn cob, this plant. The tassels are the stigma and style which wave in the wind to tap pollen grains. Yes, wind pollination mainly we can found among grass or graminae family plants. Plants coming under the family graminae. Examples for wind pollinated plants, grasses are the examples. What are the adaptations they have? First one is number of pollen grains are more. Number of pollen grains are more. First one. Then second one, second adaptation. Sorry, children. So we can see here. Then second, large amount of pollen grains. Plants produce large amount of pollen grains. Then pollen grains are light and non-sticky. Pollen grains are light and non-sticky. Then what about the third one? They often possess well-exposed stamens. Well-exposed stamens. What is the use of this exposed stamen? Yes, it is for easy dispersion of pollens into the wind currents. Then last one, large feathery stigma. They possess large feathery stigma to trap airborne pollen grains. So they possess for effective adaptations. First one is large amount of pollen grains they produce. The pollen grains, second one is the pollen grains are light and non-sticky. And the third one is they possess well-exposed stamens. And the last one is the stigma is large and feathery. Okay, children. Then next, water pollination taking place through water. Pollination taking place through wind is known as anemophily. The pollination taking place through water is known as hydrophily. You can see here the word, this is hydrophily. Hydrophily. Hydro means, the word hydro means water. Is the wind, water pollination is actually rare. It is found among mainly in monocot plants. It is found mainly among monocot plants. Example, two aquatic plants are there. Which are they? They are Vallisneria and Hydrilla. Means these two plants are found in the fresh water. One more example is that. That is Zostera. The Zostera is marine. It grows in marine water or in sea water. What are the peculiarities of these plants? Yes, they show some adaptations. Similarly, what about bryophytes and pteridophytes? To transport their male gametes. Yes, what is the mode of transportation for the male gametes? Yes, water. They need water for the transport of male gametes and also for fertilization. Then we can see what are the adaptations found among Vallisneria and Hydrilla. See, in these plants, you can see here female flowers. Here you can see the female flower in the case of Vallisneria. Male flowers are found in the water. The female flowers reaches the surface of water by the long stalk. Here we can see the long stalk. The male flowers or pollen grains are released into the surface of water. They are carried by water currents and reach the female flower, reaches to the female flower. Okay, can you see that? Yes, in the case of Zostera or it is known as seagrass. See here you can see female flowers remain submerged in water. Pollen grains are long and ribbon-like. They are carried inside the water and reach the stigma. These are all adaptations, but they shows some more features, in order to protect the pollen grains from damage because they are present in the water so that they possess mucilage covering. So that they possess mucilaginous covering. That is to protect from wetting. Then, one more important things we all should remember, all aquatic plants are pollinated not through hydrophily. Most aquatic plants, so examples given based on your syllabus, they are water hyacinth and water lily. The flowers emerge above the level of water for endomophily. Do you know what is the meaning endomophily? Endomophily means pollination taking place through insects. Anemophily, pollination taking place through wind is known as anemophily. Pollination taking place through insect is known as endomophily. So from here, we have studied that not all aquatic plants use hydrophily for pollination. Most of the aquatic plants are pollinated by endomophily or anemophily. Okay, children? Yes. Then next, here, here you can see an important point, that is wind and water pollinated flowers are not very colorful and do not produce nectar. This point is very important. Please keep in your mind. Wind pollinated plant as well as water pollinated flowers are not very colorful and do not produce nectar because they do not want to attract any kind of animals. Okay, children. We can move to the next slide. Yes, what are the biotic agents? Biotic agents you can see in the picture. So many living organisms are found here. Yes, pollination taking place through insect is known as entomophily. Do you know? The pollination taking place through bat is known as chiropterophily. Okay. Then pollination taking place through animals is known as zoophily. So based on our syllabus, we want to study this only, entomophily. So what are the adaptations found among these flowers? Actually, this entomophily or animal pollination is taking place in most of the plants. Majority of the plants, pollination is taking place through animals like entomophily, chiropterophily, zoophily, etc. Okay, children. Yes, what are the adaptations found among these plants? We can see one by one. First one is large, colorful, fragrant, and rich in nectar. These flowers are very large, they are colorful to attract the living organisms, fragrant, that is also to attract, and nectar, that is to attract the insects. So, nectar and pollen grains are the floral rewards for pollination. First point. This point is very easy to understand and also to remember. Then small flowers form inflorescence to make them visible. Here you can see. In order to make them visible, the small flowers forms inflorescence. It is an adaptation. Okay. Then the flowers pollinated by flies and beetles secrete fall odors to attract the animals. A special kind of smell they possess. For that, it is attracted by some kinds of flies and beetles. The pollen grains are generally sticky. Then only the pollen grains can stick in the parts of this body parts of these insects. Okay. Then in some plants we can see some rewards means some peculiarity means they all have mutual understanding, mutual benefit they have. What are they? Some plants provide safe places as floral reward to lay eggs. One is Amorphophallus. Here, some of the insects used to use the flower to lay eggs. You know, it has the tallest flower of 6 feet, the flower of the Amorphophallus. Then, have you heard about yucca plant? What is the peculiarity of this plant? You know, yes, the yucca plant and one of the insect named moth. They cannot complete their life cycle without each other. Why? Yes, this moth is needed the locule of the ovary of this flower to lay eggs. Wow, how the yucca plant is benefited? Yes, whenever this insect come to lay eggs here, this plant is pollinated with the help of that particular moth. So these two are mutually benefited. Okay, children. Sometimes animals are coming and taking the nectar from the flowers, but pollination is not taking place. So they are called pollen robbers. It is otherwise known as nectar robbers. They are known as pollen robbers or nectar robbers. Many insects consume pollen or nectar without bringing about pollination. So that is known as pollen or nectar robbers. Then, have you heard about outbreeding devices? Or what do you mean by outbreeding devices? Most of the flower shows that outbreeding devices. What do you mean by outbreeding devices? Okay, children. Uh, Most of the flowering plants produce bisexual flowers. They are otherwise known as hermaphrodites. In such flowers, the pollen grains are likely to come in contact with the stigma of the same flower that we know. So, continued self pollination result in inbreeding depression. Actually, that inbreeding depression is the loss of fertility and productivity. So, In order to avoid all these problems, angiosperms have developed so many devices or adaptations to discourage autogamy. Autogamy means self-pollination. And to encourage xenogamy. Xenogamy means cross-pollination. So the important adaptations are the following. What are they? First one is avoiding synchronization. What is the meaning of the word synchronization? Here, the pollen is released before the stigma become receptive, or stigma become receptive before the release of pollen. So, second one is arrangement of anther and stigma at different positions. Then third one is self-incompatibility. Yes, it is a genetic mechanism. Actually, that is to prevent self-pollination. How they prevent the self-pollination? By inhibiting pollen germination or pollen tube growth. We know that once the stamen reaches to the stigma, from here pollen grains once pollen grains reaches to the stigma of the pistil, yes, after that this pollen grain starts to germinate or pollen tube growth takes place. But some of the plants have the adaptation that is named as self-incompatibility. Self-incompatibility means, yes, inhibition of the pollen germination or pollen tube growth. So that is the third outbreeding device. First one is avoiding synchronization, and second one is position of the stigma and pistil is in different place. Third one is self-incompatibility. And the fourth one is production of unisexual flowers. It prevents autogamy. Production of unisexual flowers prevents autogamy. See students, our last content of this session is pollen pistil interaction. What do you mean by pollen pistil interaction? Actually, this particular portion means this is known as the pistil. The other term is carpel. Pistil or carpel. This is the stigma of the pistil. Actually, pollen grains are coming and reaches to the stigma. Actually, the stigma is the landing platform for the pollen grains. So here there is an interaction. That interaction is known as pollen pistil interaction. Here we have to study two terms. They are compatible pollen and the other one is incompatible pollen. What do you mean by compatible and incompatible? Compatible means right pollen grain. That means the pollen grain of the same species wants to come and start to produce the pollen tube and fertilization should take place. So here compatible. The stigma has the ability to identify compatible or incompatible, right type of pollen grain or wrong type of pollen grain. It is taking place with the help of or with the presence of some chemical substances. With the help of some chemical substances which are present in the stigma. If it is the right type or if it is the compatible type, what happens? Pollen tube growth starts and fertilization will take place. If it is wrong type or if it is incompatible pollen grain, it is rejected by the stigma. So that is the meaning of pollen pistil interaction. So if the pollen grains are compatible type or a right type, the growth of pollen tube starts. Then pollen tube reaches to the embryo sac. Here we have studied in the micropylar region, egg apparatus present. Inside the egg apparatus, central egg is present and the synergid are present on either side of the egg. Near to the synergids, we have seen filiform apparatus. Do you know what is the function of this filiform apparatus? Yes, filiform apparatus present in the micropylar part of the synergid guides the entry of pollen tube towards the female gamete. That guides the entry of pollen grains towards the female gamete. So, what are things we have studied in this session? Pollination, the three important types of pollination, they are autogamy, jaitnogamy, and xenogamy. And the second content we have studied, that is agents of pollination, abiotic agents and biotic agents. And the last, we have studied about pollen pistil interaction. Okay, children, that's all about today's class. Thank you very much for watching this video. Thank you.